Hi, Jane Gates here, and I'm going to get right into this quickly because there's a lot to say about what crops are the best to grow in inland Northern California around the Santa Clarita area that really are going to do well. These days, our winter crops are really our best crops to grow because it gets hot so early now after the spring, so our spring crops are a little more dodgy. So, great things to grow, here we go. The brassica family has lots of goodies that we're familiar with that love growing in cool weather. Try broccoli, cabbage, collards, cauliflower, and if you have lots of room, Brussels sprouts. Or get a little more, I don't know, original. Come up with some red cabbages, Chinese and mustard greens. Lots of fun things you can do in this department, and they are easy to grow here. They do real well. There are certain kinds of beans as well as peas that really do well at this time of year. Don't think of string beans, but think of lima beans and the amazing black and white flowered form of the fava beans that are great either dried or fresh. Peas of all kinds thrive in our gardens here in the winter. If you'd like to try something really unusual, consider the asparagus pea, which isn't really a true pea, but it's a low rambling plant that has really interesting looking, they look like beans with sort of frills that run down the sides. They taste more like a combination of asparagus and pea, so they're called asparagus peas. Try root crops like carrots and beets and radishes and some of the less common ones like celeriac. They're really good and they're easy to grow, and you can get some unusual things growing in your garden this way. Salad greens and lettuce are always great at this time of year, and also celery do well in the winter. Or go sweet and dramatic with strawberries and rhubarb, or the large growing dramatic perennials like artichokes and asparagus. These latter two do grow big, but they are showy both in the garden as an effect and, of course, to cut for food. Herbs are great to grow both in the flower garden in their own little special area, in the vegetable garden, or even in pots. And at this time of year, rosemary and lavender, thyme, sage, oregano, those are really good ones. They're perennials and they are really reliable year-round. If you want to try some of the more, well, they're a little more delicate in the winter, but you could try shading some basil, catnip, some chamomile, dill, and borage. They're also fun to grow in the herb categories, but a little more sensitive to cold weather. Other plants to grow that do really well in our winters, you can start off. Spinach doesn't seem to do all that well, although it technically should. There are some other interesting plants you can plant that will actually grow with our heat. Things like New Zealand spinach, or there's also Malabar spinach, and those you can actually grow in the summer. But right now, go for beets, carrots, cauliflower, kale, peas. These are goodies in your garden, along with your other brassicas. Kale happens to be a brassica. You can also put in potatoes, of course, onions and garlic that will be ready to harvest in the early part of spring. So there are lots of good things you can put in your garden now, and you'll reap the rewards come spring. Go for stuff that's a little different, stuff that'll cost you more if you have to buy it in the store, or might not be able to be. You may not find them that easily. Have fun with it. It's a great time for planting. Our winter season is probably better than our summer season now that our summers have become so very hot. So enjoy. Thanks for tuning in, and have a wonderful couple of weeks. Check in again and we'll see what we have to answer in your next questions. Take care.